Good morning. Welcome to Vlogtober episode 7. It's very early. It's not as early as I wanted it to be. I did think that I could have got up a little bit earlier, but it's Monday. Got bags under my eyes. I'm wearing my knitter t-shirt because I am a knitter. It's from Stitches Tees. It's not a sponsored video. No, it's not a sponsored video. I just love it. I need to find them at a yarn show again because I want to buy a crochet one for obvious reasons. So yeah, it is early. I'm up. I've got to get ready for work. I've got to go a bit earlier, but I'm going to do 15 minutes of knitting. I didn't finish the other wing. I've got one more colour stripe to do, and I'm about halfway through. So halfway through the 4th short row, one more colour stripe, then the 5th. So it won't be done today because I'm out with work. So I'm definitely going to get behind. Irina's already commented on the last video. She's back from Rhinebeck and ready to go on the clue. So hey, what are you going to do? I don't know if I can show you easily. These needles, honestly, banging. So I've done 3, need to finish this section. And then just the 4th colour. I might get that done today. I don't think it'll be a particularly late night home, but I am out after work. So yeah. Right, I'm going to go and do 15 minutes of knitting before I have to get ready for work. Good morning, good morning. It is now Thursday. We've got a pumpkin. That's very Halloween, vlogtobery, isn't it? I'm working from home today. I've got my coffee. This is going to be a bit of an interesting video because I think you've just heard me say it's early, I'm going to do some knitting and get up early. And I did do some. And then I've not filmed anything else for the rest of the week. So I tell a lie. I filmed a little bit of a kind of a live answering session to some of the questions and comments I got on the last video. So I'm going to show you those now. And then I'm going to wrap this video up. It's going to be a shorter one than usual and shorter than planned, but life got in the way. So I'll show you the answers to the questions. And then I'm going to go and grab my shawl and I will show you my progress. Hi, me again. I'm at the airport waiting for my colleague. And I'm parked up safely. I'm not driving. I'm reading loads of the comments on yesterday's video that came through overnight. And there's one consistent comment that keeps coming back. And I've answered a few people, but I guess I'll cover it in the video as well, which is why I chose to go and rip out my section and then re-engineer the pattern to knit the knits rather than doing it as a purl section. Could I not have just changed my needle size? And I did think about it briefly. I guess the bit that I was unsure about, because I'm using a 3.75mm needle. So if I was going to change my needle tip, would I go down to a 3.5? Would I go down to a 3.25? Because I think like when you get to size 4mm, like I don't think such a thing as a 4.25 exists. You do 4, 4.5, 5. Whereas below 4, you have 0.25 increments. So I didn't really know what needle tip I would use to go down to, but then that would have meant I would have had to have swatched and then done a little swatch to see whether I would need to have done a 3.5 or a 3.25 or even a 3, because it did look really loose and baggy. But because I was really happy with my tension on my knit stitches, I knew that that would be okay if I could just get it to be knit, because then that would give me the consistency, because I know I'm happy with my knit stitch. And another comment that keeps coming back, and I have no idea, and maybe at some point when I've got nothing else to knit on, I will experiment with this, but I've never noticed such a difference in my purl stitches before. Like, before I learnt to knit in the round and do jumpers, everything was knit flat. Like, one of my favourite cardigans, my big grey squishy Rory cardigan, that was knit flat. It looked perfect and it was bang on gauge. The baby blankets I made at the start of the year and the baby blankets I made for Liv and Adriana, they were perfect. The gauge was okay. So I don't know. I wonder if that's because that was stockinette stitch and it's kind of knit a row, purl a row, that my knit a row masked a loose purl. I'm not sure. Whereas this is all purl, so it exacerbates the situation. I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, I just thought as I was sitting here reading comments, they're two things that kind of come through on the comments. So I just thought I would, while I remember, because otherwise later in the week I'll have forgotten that you all asked why didn't I just change the needle size, and it's because I didn't want to swatch. I am learning to love swatching, but it wasn't because I didn't want to swatch. Oh, Mark's jumper is knit and purl as well, and that seems fine. Again, it looks really even, the V stitches. So again, I think that one's okay. But yeah, it wasn't the fact that I didn't want to swatch, because I am kind of embracing it. It was more, it would have been a lot of time and I wouldn't have been able to, like, I probably could have spent all of yesterday then swatching and not actually finishing that bit of the clue. So yeah, there we go. General musings from Cardiff Airport. All right, I'm going again now. See you in a bit. Me again. Still reading comments. Also, completely obvious, when I was in the moment and I was like, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? When I put my other side of the shawl on the cable needle, and then I was like, it'll be fine hanging there. And then I said to you all, it wasn't fine and I had to sellotape them. Obviously, you are all right. There are two sets of comments that you've all left me. Why don't I put one of the bulb stitch markers through the two little holes? And even more obvious, which I hadn't thought of, the little joiner that I joined the cables together to pull it through. Why didn't I just put that on and screw both of the ends together? Do you know, sometimes when you're in the moment and it takes someone outside the moment to think of it? Yeah. Thanks, folks. I'm like, oh, you're such an idiot. Why didn't you think of that? I know what I'll do to secure the cable needle. I'll go and get some big sellotape. That'll help. Not why don't you just use the connector? Hey ho. Thanks. Okay. So I've grabbed my shawl. If there's clanging, it's the needles. You know the drill. Spoiler alert for those of you wanting to avoid spoilers, flick ahead. But it is now, as I said, you can see the continuity in the white t-shirt. It's now Thursday and I haven't finished this week's clue. So obviously the next clue is out imminently. I'm just getting ready for work, so I'm going to film this and then head to work, which means I won't be at home today. The last 2 Thursdays with the clues, I've been at home and had days off, but I'm in work today. So I have basically, for week 2, there were 4 sections, the 2 wings, and then the next bit where we get to use the cable needle for the first time. I've finished sections 1 and 2, which are the wings. So wing 1, no, that's wing 2 because it's attached to the needle, but you get the point. So wing 1, and then we slide over and wing 2. So this one is actually the one on the cable needle, the spare needle. So this is the original garter stitch. If you've watched last week, the last edition, you'll know about the drama. So this is the first one. So obviously the 5 short row segments and then the 4 colour stripes. And then this is the problematic one, or was problematic. with my pearl tension. And I'm so much happier that I took the time to get it how I wanted it to be. And I think that's the most important bit. And I've already covered in the video about why I didn't change my needle size and I felt like it was too much stress, but I'm happy, which it's my shawl, so that's all that matters. So then we've got the 5 sections and the 4 colors. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this now looks. If I hold up the 2 sections together, they are aligned. So my tension, as you'd expect, my tension would line up because I was just knit every stitch. But I'm really happy that it's now more symmetrical and I took the time to do that. Obviously what that does mean is I lost a bit of knitting time on last weekend because I had to rip out one of the sections. But even then, because I've been out this week with work, we've had some face-to-face management meetings, which has been lovely to catch up with colleagues that I've not seen pretty much mostly since pre-pandemic, which has been a long time. So it's been lovely to be able to catch up with colleagues, but it's meant I've been out after work Monday and Tuesday. So even if I hadn't ripped that section out, I may have started the 3rd section on Sunday, for example, which I think was my original plan, to finish the short rows on the Saturday and then start the cabling on Sunday. I wouldn't have finished the cabling because I was out Monday, Tuesday, and I wouldn't have done enough. You know, I did 15 minutes of knitting on Monday morning before work, and that was all I did. And then I had last night where I did finish the 2nd wing, but I still wouldn't have finished all the cabling by that point. So it was always going to be optimistic to try and finish this week. But that's okay because, as I've said in many videos, and as Stephen often says, embrace your pace. It's knitting, it's a hobby, it's meant to be fun. And the last thing I want is that this turns into a stressful project. So I'm really happy with where I am. And my plan now then, so it's Thursday, I'm out again this evening, I know, right? I play in a brass band, not regularly any longer, I'm kind of retired. But I'm playing in a competition with a local band in a couple of weekends' time. So I have a band rehearsal tonight. So I'm not going to get a lot of knitting done. I might, after work, be able to start the cable section and pick up the stitches in the I-cord. So I might be able to make a start on that this evening, but it's really, to my mind, it's going to be tomorrow after work, a lazy Friday night, and then we've got nothing planned this weekend. We're going to go and start some Christmas shopping on Saturday to get ahead of the game because we know what we want to buy for the nieces and the nephew. So we're going to go and do that. So we've got a bit of a lazy weekend, Saturday, Sunday. So my plan is to finish the cabling sections by Saturday night, would be amazing. At the least by Sunday. So I am going to be a couple of days behind, and then we'll obviously see what this week has got in store for us as to how quickly I can catch up. But that's fine. We embrace the pace. And Irina hasn't finished yet either, which is fine. So I think Irina won week 1, and I think we'll call week 2 a draw because neither one of us finished. So yeah, so it's been a bit of a disjointed episode, this one, but it's Vlogtober that coincides with the mystery knit along, and life gets in the way, doesn't it? You know, I'm not a full-time knitter, sadly. This is my hobby and I have an actual job. So it's just been lovely to just work on this as I've been able to. My Vlogtober list of things, I'm not getting very far with my list, but more on that. We'll do a bit of a mid-month wrap-up over the weekend. So yeah, so I hope that you are embracing your pace, and there's not been any technique or dramas that I've really found, because all the drama was in the last video about my tension. But I have finished and I am making progress, and I'm really pleased with how this is looking so far. I've got a bit of a yarn bath. I don't know what's happened, but I've only got about this much left of my first ball. So when I finish this week's clue, I will do my measurements and I'll weigh for you. But at the moment, if those of you are worried, Irina thinks she's running out of wool because she's already on her second ball and I haven't finished my first yet. So I don't know if I'm a tight knitter and using less, or she's a loose knitter using more. I'm not sure. But I'll kind of, again, I'll cover that one. But just as a reference point, I finished the 2 wings and I've still got main colour 1 left. The next section that I'm about to do with the cabling actually goes back to contrast colour 2. So I'm back to the contrast colour, sorry. So I'm back to the light colour. So I don't know if that helps. If you're already on your second ball, so is Irina. So again, I don't think you should stress, but I don't know yet how much yarn I've used, but I'm still on my first. So I'm going to wrap this video up there. It is a much shorter video than I had planned, but as I said, life gets in the way. And I think I had that a few times last year. Some of the videos are a bit shorter because there's not a lot of knitting-y type content to share with you. But thank you as always for being here. Coming up then, I will have a video this weekend, possibly on Saturday, depending on how far I get. If I don't get a video up on Saturday, then it will be Monday, because Irina and I are going live on Sunday. So I won't put 2 videos out on Sunday. I'll either put one out Saturday and then the live on Sunday, or the live on Sunday and then one on Monday. Depends on when I finish this clue. I am going to end it though, and no spoilers in the comments below. My plan is not to watch the video or download the pattern, because I feel like I will just get distracted and I need to finish week 2. So I'm going to try and avoid all spoilers for week 3 until I finished week 2. And then I can have a lazy start to Saturday with a coffee, and I can sit down and I can watch the video ready to start on Saturday. That's my plan. If you haven't yet started week 2, because I know there's a few of you embracing your pace and are a bit behind where I am, have you been watching ahead, or are you week by week? You'll watch the video when you're ready to go. I'd love to know whether you're in for spoilers or not. But please come along and join us on Sunday if you are available and free. We're going live on my channel, so just head here to the Knit 365 channel and you'll see us live 5 o'clock UK time, which I believe is 12 o'clock Boston EST time. It's definitely 5 o'clock UK time. Please check your local listings to see what the time difference is. But come along and join us. If there's things that you want us to chat about and cover in the video, leave a comment below and I'll filter all those comments out, and we'll make sure that we can try and answer as many as possible. But we're really excited to kind of have a midway point, because we're now halfway. We've done week 2. So before we get into the throes of week 3, we thought we'd have a sit down and a checkpoint. So come along and join us on the live on Sunday if you're able to. And if not, as always, technology permitting, the video will be saved on my channel so that you can hop back and watch it at your leisure. So slightly longer outro because there's not been a lot of intro, but I wanted to sit down and just explain myself. Why have I not finished? Naughty Martin, get the stick out. So there we go. I'm going to go and sort this yarn bath out and then I'm going to head to work. So thank you very much for being here and for watching and for all the support so far. Please keep leaving comments. I find it hard to reply to every single one, but as you saw earlier in this video, I was able to kind of chat about some of the themes that are coming out in the comments. So I promise you, I do read every single comment that comes through, even if I don't get a chance to reply. But thank you for being here and part of this crazy MKAL journey with Irina and myself. So I hope that you are all keeping well, embrace your pace, enjoy your shawls, and I'll be back on the weekend with another video. And until we speak again, happy crafting.